Welcome back to the Spoonie Stitcher channel. I'm Shannon the Spoonie Stitcher, you're inside the stitchery, and I'm so happy you're here today. So this is TOT-torial time! If you remember, not too long ago, we made some Potter Tots of our golden trio, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. But, you know, the golden trio didn't travel alone. So today we are making Hedwig. Look at the little tail. Crookshanks. And yes, this cat has a nose. You're welcome. And even though we all know technically this is a person, I'm just pretending it's just a rat. And so of course we have scabbers. By the way, any of these patterns can be made for any reason, so if you want to make this one black and make it Salem Saberhagen, or just a regular black cat, or if you want to make this owl in like barn owl colors and just make it an owl, or if you want to make, you know, a Cinderella and Cinderella's mouse, that's fine. I don't care what you guys use it for. So grab your hooks, grab your yarn, grab a little bit of stuffing, it's not going to take much. And let's make some cute little companions. All the colors you need are listed down below. All the materials you need will be listed down below. So Hedwig and Crookshanks, let's talk about them for a second. They are basically the exact same pattern. Now, Crookshanks looks a little smaller because the yarn I used for Hedwig is a tiny bit thicker of a 4-weight than the yarn I used for Crookshanks, but they are the exact same pattern. For Crookshanks, you have to stop after a certain point to make the tail. And for Hedwig, you just finish up and sew it closed first. And then add the little tail. For Scabbers, he does not have as many increase rounds. So I wanted to make him tiny. He really does not take long to make. If you wanted to make an army of mice, you could. None of these take long, honestly. But these two are the same. First, I will show you how to make them, and then I will show you how to make little scabbers. So I just want to tell you guys that I'm a dork, and the animals are the wrong size in the tutorial. So they'll look a lot bigger to you, and they'll look wrong compared to the originals. Yeah, that's because I used the wrong size hook for the entire tutorial. I figured out midway when filming, and I just decided to just keep going, so I didn't change anything, but you need a 3.25 millimeter hook to make the Potter Tot pets. I was using a 3.5, and believe me, that makes a difference. The correct materials are in the description box, but I just wanted to let you guys know that, hey, I'm not perfect. Okay, thank you. So Hedwig needs a few things. She needs a beak, 2 wings, and a tail. Everything else is one piece. So let's start with her wings. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to work on both sides of the chain. So skip the first chain, and into the second, we're going to make a slip stitch. Single crochet in the next, and half double crochet in the remaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, 1, 2, and rotate. Now you're working on the other side of the chain. Make a half double crochet in the first stitch, right there. Half double crochet in the next, and 1 more in the next, single crochet in the next, and slip stitch in the last. Fasten off and leave a tail for sewing. Make sure you have 2. And you're good to go. Now let's make her tail. we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first you're going to slip stitch back into the first chain. Right there, and kind of keep your finger on it to pinch it because you're going to need that chain over and over again. Chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch back into the pinched chain. It's bigger now. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back into the pinched chain. Fasten off. And you're done. That's it. That's all there is to it, to her tail. Let's make her beak. You need your golden yellow color. Chain 2. And single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Fasten off. Yep, that's the entire beak. How easy was that? So Hedwig now has a beak, 2 wings, and a tail. Now you can make her. To begin to make Hedwig or Crookshanks, you need to make a magic ring. Make 6 single crochet in the ring. Pull your short tail slightly closed, not all the way. Make sure you still have a hole there. Insert your hook into the 6th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make 2 single crochet in that stitch. 1, and I'm going to mark it, and 2. That was the beginning of round 2, but what we're going to do is we're going to close this hole now. The reason we couldn't do it before is because if you close the hole before you insert your hook into the next round, it's a lot harder to get it in there. Now we're going to work over our tail. Make 2 single crochet or an increase in every single stitch around. You will have 12. For round 3, we're going to begin with another increase. Mark the first one. And in the next stitch is just 1 single crochet. That's our pattern all the way around. We're doing increase, which is 2 stitches, and then 1 by itself. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You get the point. By the end, you'll have 18 stitches. For round 4, so we're going to do 1 and mark. 2. And now we'll increase in the next stitch. So let's do that again. Next stitch, 1, 2, and our third stitch is an increase. That is our pattern. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Your last stitch should be an increase. You will have 24 stitches by the end. We're about to begin round 5, and I am going to take my stitch marker out. I'm going to make 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then if you've seen any of my tutorial videos before, you know that I like to put my stitch marker on the side, because that tells me I am working in continuous rounds. So, you are going to make 24 stitches for rows 5 through 10. Just go around and around without joining, and I will meet you at the end of round 10. Okay, so we are done with rounds 5 through 10, and we're going to pause real quickly, and I'm going to loop my thread in there like that. I added this extra stitch marker at the very end just to tell me that I needed to stop. And we're going to put on facial features. So grab your safety eyes and your beak. So on the opposite side of our stitch marker, this side, is where we're going to place our eyes. So here is our original head wig. You can see that round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between 5 and 6 is where our eyes go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between 5 and 6 is this line right here. Okay. And I'm going to center it as best I can. The eyes are a little bit far apart on this one. One, two, three, 4. Yeah, about 4 stitches. I think. Let me see if that looks right. Yeah, that's fine. So we now add our backs. Okay, now we grab our beak, and we want our beak to go 2 rows down from the eyes in the middle. So about there. So grab your needle. And I might have made my strings too short. Hold on. It's gonna go in there. Okay. Nope, I think it'll still work. So you should have kind of a long tail, I hope. And you're gonna use that one to sew down the point of the beak from the inside. So we're gonna go up and then really close down. And that should secure your beak. That's all you should need. So now you go on the inside, and I'm just gonna use this loop right here, and maybe part of the inside of that loop. And I'm just gonna make a knot. And then our other one here, we're gonna take these 2 and just tie them together lightly, because you don't wanna, misshape the beak. You just don't want them to come out, so. And there, Hedwig has a face. Hooray! So let's keep going. Round 11 is a back loop only round. We are going to make 2 stitches in the next 2. So 1 and 2. I am now going to mark the top of the stitches because I don't want to lose it. And I want to remind myself that I'm decreasing for this round. So I'm going to decrease in the next stitch. And all you do is you go in the back loop only, you go in, bring up a loop, in the next, and bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Go through all 3. So we are going to go 1, 2, and decrease all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay. Round 12. We're going to go in both loops now. Single crochet, mark it, and decrease in the next. So one decrease, all the way around. I'm going to use the invisible decrease where I go into the front loop, together, together. Then one, and then front loop, go through two, all the way around. One decrease. Okay. I would pause at this point and stuff, because your next round, your hole is going to be really small. So this is a good time to stuff. You can use anything you want to stuff this thing. Stuff the head more than the bottom because you want the bottom to lay flat. Let's continue. We've got one more round to go. So we're going to decrease in every single stitch. That'll leave us with 6 stitches. So here we go. Decrease in the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we are going to fasten off with a long tail. Pull out your hook and close the hole. There are lots of ways to close a hole. This is the way I'm going to do it. You can do it any way you like. So I go in the top loop, out the next one. In just the top loop, out again, just the top loop. In one more time, out one more time, and close. Then to make it flat, I go in through the hole, out through the body. Make sure you do not go past the ridge. Pull just a little bit. Pick a few stitches to the side. Go out the other side. One more time for good measure. And fasten off. Okay. So Hedwig's body is done. Now she needs her wings and her tail, which we already made. So we'll just attach them. We'll do the tail first, because that's easy. So here's her tail. You want it at the back of her, so use her eyes as a guide. So probably about here, but on her right there. So you're going to attach it on the ridge. I'm just going to attach it right on the ridge. It should not get in your way for any reason. I'm just going to go in these 3 stitches right here. 1, 2, take the other side, go in the 3rd stitch, wrap around, go in the 2nd stitch again, just to make sure it's attached, and one more time, and then through the body on your way out, like that. Okay, and then take this one and also find a way to go out through the body, through the same hole, tie a knot or 2, and then this tail is really short, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I'll try. But the long tail, you can easily, go back into the hole and then go back out somewhere else. Then you hide it and fasten off. Short tail is a little trickier. You could either push it down with your needle, or maybe I can do this. Hold on. Let's see. Ooh, this is really small. Aha! I did it! Yay! Alright. There's her tail. Just kind of flatten it. There. Now she needs wings on either side. They're already really prepped for the most part. You're just going to take them and hold them at an angle. And go back about, here's the eye, here's about 2 stitches, and that's where the top of the wing should hit. I'm going to use a pin. Maybe 2. You just don't want to go really past this last row before the ridge here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And then you just sew it on like that. Other side, same thing. 2 stitches back from the eye. 1, 2. Put it in place and sew it to the body. So mine is not for a child. I'm just going to go, I took this piece and I went out through the bottom. Now I'm going to take this piece, and actually I am going to go through this stitch right here just to get it on top. And then I'm going to grab just a couple of stitches on the top. I'm not really worried about, you know, anything happening to this. It's going to sit on a shelf for the most part. So then I'm going to go out the bottom, go through the same stitch as the back part, pull a little bit, tie a knot. That's it. That's all I'm going to do to sew my wing on. Now, if you are giving this to a child, or if you know that, you know, something could potentially happen to it, yeah, you might want to be a little better about sewing it. But me, I don't really care. Just do the same to the other side. But we are almost done. I'm just going to hide my tails real quick. And then head wig is complete. And there is head wig. Now let's make Crookshanks. So Crookshanks, we only have to make 2 ears. Everything else is part of the pattern. It's all one piece. So let's make the ears really fast. Chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. In the second chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet, and then in the third, half double crochet. And you're done. Fasten off. Now make 2. And you're done. Okay, so we are going to pause Crookshanks for now and add the face. Is Crookshanks a guy or a girl? I think it's a guy. I don't know. Because I think the female cat is Mrs. Norris, right? Oh, I should have made Mrs. Norris. You could make Mrs. Norris doing this. You could. Absolutely. Make it gray and then do like red eyes or something. Here is my magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between 5 and 6 on the opposite side of your stitch marker. That's where the face will go. So I just lost it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between 5 and 6. Somewhere in the vicinity of the middle. About 3 stitches apart. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Now add your backs. There we go. Now 2 ears. Okay, so you don't want to go too far back, so I'm going to squish my head like this so that I can find kind of the middle. And right there, right over the eye. And then about 2 rows down,
I will add the bottom of the ear. And then we're just gonna tie them on the inside. Yep, that's all I do. You can sew more if you need to, or want to. But that's good enough. Looks like a cat ear. We're good. Okay, so we do the same for the other side. About here. Yep, you want it kind of spaced. And then about 2 rows down. And that's it. Tie it on the inside. Okay, now let's add a tiny little nose. Okay, so we're going to make a nose. I've just got a tiny little scrap of pink here. And we're gonna go down 1 from the eyes. And gonna go in here. And then I'm just gonna make a V, so I'm gonna go down about here. And then up, not very far away. And then down, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. You can do more if you want. You can add a mouth, you can add whiskers, but this is all I'm doing. And of course, tie a knot, and you're done. Round 11. First thing for round 11 is we have to make the tail. Chain 13. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In the third chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, make a half double crochet. And then make 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 1, 2, 3 stitches remaining. You will do 2 single crochet in the next 2, and then 1 slip stitch. Now you will continue round 11 in this stitch right here. So we're working in the back loops only. We are going 1 and mark, 2, decrease, same as you did with the owl, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, and I'll meet you when we get close to the tail. Just do 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, and stop before you get to the tail. Okay, your last stitch should be a decrease, and it will be. It's right here. 1 and 2. Pull your tail down and hold it because you don't want to accidentally stitch into it. Now go directly into round 12. Right where this stitch marker is, we're going to make a single crochet. That's right, we're going right over the tail. The tail does not even matter right now. There we go. And then we are going to decrease in the next stitch. I'm going to use this. There we go. And that's your pattern. One decrease, all the way around. You will have 12 stitches at the end, and I will meet you when you're done. Okay. Now we pull out our tail, pull up on our yarn, sorry, and stuff. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not feeling very well, but I'm trying to get this done, so. This is our final row. We're just going to decrease all the way around 6 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 5, 6, fasten off, and close the hole the exact same way you did for the owl. Okay, so the tail was supposed to go at the beginning of round 10, not the beginning of round 11. I screwed up. So if you did just spike me, it's okay, we'll fix it. Grab a little piece of yarn that's the same color as your body. Right, weave your yarn in at the beginning, right here, and then through the side of your tail like this. Can you see? Go down. Leave some of this yarn tail on this side. It's very confusing. We're talking tails and tails. Okay, and then we're going to go through the next loop right here. And pull. And then we're going to go through the body like this. Okay, now with our other end, move the tail out of the way. We're just going to go through the side and then go through the same hole. And you know the drill. Tie the knot, hide the tails. So I'm sorry about that, guys. There's been a lot happening. If you saw any of my vlogs, you know. Then you can kind of curl the tail if you want, you know, like that. And there is Crookshanks. Last but not least, let's make scabbers. So the first thing we're going to make is Scabber's tail. Make a slip knot, chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Working in the back bumps, that's these little things. So this is your chain, and then if you flip it over, there are these little bumps. That's what we're going to work into. We are just going to slip stitch into 10 of them. So we're going to skip the first one because it's right there and it's impossible to get your hook into. So skip to the second one and just slip stitch down the chain into all of these back bumps. There are 10. Now just fasten off and leave a tail that you can sew with. And I like to pull his tail a little bit. There we go. Now he needs ears. Make a magic ring. Make 3 half double crochet into the ring. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Then slip stitch into the ring and close the hole. Chain 1 and fasten off. Make sure you have a tail for sewing. You need 2 of these. Ta-da! Now, we're going to prep them for sewing because I like to prep my pieces before I start. I just think it's a much smarter way to do things. I'm gonna weave it over, in and out, to get to the other side of the base of the ear, like that. Then we're gonna take this one that's coming out the back. Probably, my guess is this is the one that was closing the hole. Yes, this is the one that closed the hole. So we want to go down into this stitch right here. It should be that easy. There. So now it's prepped and ready to be sewn on the mouse head. So we're going to make his nose, and we're going to make 3 single crochet in a magic ring, which, if you're a friend of mine, you know I hate a 3-stitch magic ring. And we're gonna try and make 2 to start the next round. And mark this one. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a very frustrating nose. We're gonna make 1 stitch in the next round and 1 more increase in the last. And then we are going to slip stitch to join. And fasten off. This kind of relies on shaping. Okay. Now we are going to take a little scrap of pink yarn and make a false French knot. If you don't know how to do that, you act as if you're about to make a knot. You wrap one side around, in this case 2 times. 1, 2, other side. 1, 2, pull slowly, push on each side. Congratulations, you have a knot. Now we are going to insert this knot into the tip of his nose, right here. Yeah, I know where my magic ring went. There we go. Okay. Take the other side. You want it to sit on the tip of his nose, so let's see, right about here, I guess. I might need my sharp needle for this, but let's see if I can get away with it. Nope, 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 nope. Now we're just going to go in to the tip of his nose like that. And on the inside of the snout, I guess we'll call this the snout now, the brown is the snout part. We're just going to tie a knot, maybe another knot, and fasten off. So, there is his nose. He's really small, so it's kind of difficult to make his features, you know, really detailed and stuff. So now you have Scabber's snout and nose, 2 ears, and his tail. All ready to go to sew on his body. So let's make his little body. You need your main color. I'm using brown. And I'm going to make a magic ring. 6 single crochet in the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. slightly close your magic ring. Make sure there is still a hole. Insert your hook into the 6th stitch and make 2 single crochet or an increase into that stitch. 1, 2. Now get your stitch marker and mark the 1st stitch. Now you can close your ring. In this round, we can even work over our tail to secure it. Just bring it up and hold it kind of on top of the stitches. So make 2 single crochet or increase in the remaining 5 stitches. That will bring you up to 12 stitches. Okay, you should have 12 stitches for round 2. I am going to pause for a brief second and just sew in my tail. Just real quickly. Make sure it doesn't come undone, you know. I mean, we crocheted over it, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't come undone. So I'm just going to make a tiny little knot, and that should do it. Okay, now we don't have to worry about the tail. You can trim it if you want to, or it can just be part of your stuffing, but I'll trim it. Okay, round 3. We are going to increase in the 1st stitch. Mark the 1st one. Single crochet in the next one, just 1. And that's the pattern. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You get the idea, until you have 18 stitches. Okay, and that's as big as Little Scabbers gets. That's it. So, for rounds 4 through 9, just go around and around and around. So I will meet you at the end of round 9. So you should have just finished row 9. And now we are going to place the eyes and the nose. Where is my nose? Here it is. Okay. So get your nose and your safety eyes. So the eyes are placed about 5 stitches apart and they're between rows 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this line right here is where your eyes go. So I'm going to place my eye, and I'm not going to put my backs in yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 4 stitches. And I'm going to see how my nose looks. Make sure it's the correct direction. Okay. And yeah, I like that. So I am going to sew my nose in before I lock my eyes in, otherwise those safety backs will get in my way. So I might have cut my nose tails too short. So we're gonna find out. Gonna go down about 2 rows from the eyes, I think. Let's see how it looks. I don't want to tell you wrong. Nope, no, we're good. Okay. So we're gonna hold it there. Yeah, so that's where your nose should go. So here's your eyes, and the second row down from your eyes, that's where your nose goes. I'm going to hopefully stitch this in place. Just go around the nose. This is the most sewing you will have to do for this entire, all 3 of them, the whole project. This is the most sewing because the nose has to be, you know, in place. Fairly straight, so. So we just go around the nose using these outer loops. Right there. And, oh, nope, I still got the top. Okay. So your two inside tails just make a knot. So anyway, there's your nose, there's your mouse, rat, whatever. Now you can put your backs on, but see, they would be in your way if you put them on beforehand. Now you have a nose and two eyes. We can also add our ears now. So they're going to go on either side of the magic ring. So one will go here and one will go there. And they are only one stitch apart from each other. So here's one side, here's a stitch, here's the other side. And again, I'm just gonna tie it on the inside. Nothing fancy. You can stitch it on if you want to. This is the best I'm gonna do. Other side of the magic ring right there. Go down one stitch apart, right there. All right. I just realized something. I'll show you guys at the very end, but if you cut onto it, I want you to say it in the comments below that you figured it out, because I just realized something I did and it was completely unintentional and I love it. So round 10 is a back loop only, and we are going to decrease in the first stitch. Don't worry, I will show you how. Going to back loop only, decrease. That means we're going to take this back loop, pull up, this back loop, pull up, put all three together, and put our stitch marker in. Now we're going to make one single crochet in the next stitch, like this. Decrease, and then one. Make sure you're working in only the back loops, and do that all the way around. You should have 12 stitches when you're done. Okay, now is when you stuff. And you really shouldn't need much because he is very small. Okay, this is our last round, round 11. We are just going to decrease 6 times all the way around. Here we go. 1, 6. Fasten off, close the hole any way you like. Okay, his tail. His tail is going to go in the back, above the ridge, so that when he sits, you know, he's not sitting on his tail. So, you know, like that. So this is really easy. We're just going to find the middle between his ears. Just pick a stitch that's above this ridge. I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go under. I'm actually going to redo this one. Show you why. I'm going to actually go right there. So there's not as much pink showing. Going to tie a knot. And there you have it. Here's little scabbers. Very easy to make and very cute. Now I'll show you what I realized I did. So my first one was gray, right? Now my next one is brown. I used the wrong size hook. Can you tell? This should have been a 3.25. This was a 3.5. Not a very big difference. I mean, technically this one's only a D and this one's an E, but it does make a huge difference. Look at this. But the funny thing is, this one is brown and it's larger. This one is gray and it's smaller. Dear Disney fans, does this remind you of anything? Apparently, with my pattern, you can also make Remy and Emile. So there's an option for you. So today we made Remy, Emile, scabbers, Hedwig, and Crookshanks. Hope you had fun.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Did you have fun making these adorable little guys? Come on, those are cute. Please, if you made them, I want to see them. If you don't have social media, email me. I'd love to see them. And if you give me permission, we can make a slideshow of pictures. I absolutely would love that. If you do have social media, please use the hashtag down below. Tag me, and I want to see your pictures. Don't forget, you can always post it in the Facebook group as well, and we can see what you made. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you had a really fun time making them. Let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below, and have a great day. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. Bye!